Are you also tired of one-size-fits-all weight loss plans? Meet Noom, the personalized solution that meets you where you are. Noom is able to understand your unique needs, from dietary restrictions to medical concerns. Unlike restrictive programs, Noom embraces your lifestyle and choices. Discover a sustainable approach to weight loss, tailored just for you. Honestly, Noom felt like it was made for me. It's not just about what I eat, it's about understanding why. With Noom, I've learned so much about myself and built healthier habits that stick. It's all about progress, not perfection. Say goodbye to restrictive diets and experience the Noom app for yourself with personalized lessons and expert coaching. Noom's psychology and biology-based approach has helped over 5.2 million people achieve their goals. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com. And check out Noom's first ever cookbook, The Noom Kitchen, for 100 healthy and delicious recipes to promote better living. Available to buy now wherever books are sold.
You deserve a tech career you love, coworkers you can count on, innovation you're proud to build. If you're ready to change the world through technology, explore a career at Cox. Make a real impact in engineering, development, cybersecurity, and more, all while experiencing work-life balance, flexible work options, and great benefits. Visit cox.career/tech to find a job you love today. That's cox.career/tech.
All right, I want to thank everyone for listening to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. If you can do me a big favor, wherever you listen, whether it's on Apple, the Apple Podcast app, or the Spotify, YouTube, wherever you listen, please subscribe to the show. And especially if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a 5-star review and some words, because that helps boost us up in the algorithm, gets it out to new people. But yeah, wherever you listen, like, subscribe, give a review if it's possible, and just share the show. Share it with your friends, your coworkers, your neighbor, whoever, anyone you think would be interested in this. If you wanted to further support the show, you can check us out on patreon.com/bigtruth. There's 4 levels of patronage there, and they all come with their own exclusive benefits, but that's a way for you to really support the show. And I give a big, massive shout out to all the Patreon subscribers. You guys rule. Now, if you happen to be in the unfortunate situation where you find yourself in a motorcycle-related accident, and you live in the state of Massachusetts, right? This is just for Massachusetts people, because I'm in Massachusetts and I'm being a little, hoity-toity with the supporting the Massachusetts people, right? I'm just kidding. But, whatever it is. If you happen to be in a situation, I don't want you to have to use this sponsor, but if you do find yourself in the unfortunate situation of being in a motorcycle accident, you need to call the attorneys of the Jeffrey Glassman injury lawyers. You got to get Glassman on the case here. And if you were in an accident within the last 3 years, you got to call this dude, because you have there's a statute of limitations of 3 years. But if some motherfucker hit you under 3 years ago, hit Glassman up, see what you can do. If you have a case that's ongoing and your attorney's kind of slacking off, hit up Glassman, see what's going on. These dudes are top notch. My boy, literally, I can't even say it. My boy that I've known for decades works there. Otherwise, I wouldn't even be repping these people, but they're legit. So you need to check them out. A motorcycle or bicycle, they just rep both, right? But yeah, so Jeffrey Glassman injury lawyers, easiest number in the world to remember. It's free and confidential to call them. So, like I said, even if you have an existing case and you just want another kind of prospectus on things or another perspective, you give them a call here at 617-777-7777. So all you got to remember is the area code for Boston, 617. Then the rest is all sevens, 777-7777. Get Glassman on the case. They're going to rep for you. Now, you're sitting in your room. You're sitting in your living room. You're sitting in your office. You're sitting in your shop. You're sitting in your garage. And there's a big gaping hole, right? That needs to be filled with art. There's one place you got to check it out. TattooFlashCollective.com. That's where you get the raddest out there is. Now, if you have a tattoo shop, it's a no-brainer because you need Tattoo Flash to fill up a tattoo shop. Unless you're one of these like hipstery dojo looking shops where you got like cross samurai swords and like a mask from Indonesia and like a waterfall, right? But you still want some Tattoo Flash because let's respect the culture here. Johanna's going to be like, dude, what are you talking about? Stop doing this. These are unscripted. I'm just flying off the top of my head. So, whatever. But yeah, tattooflashcollective.com. You got a space that you need to fill with art. Whether you're a tattoo shop, whether it's for your house, for your work, for your cubicle, for your cell, whether it's padded or concrete, for your garage, whatever. Tattoo Flash. They also have art prints. Art prints. I know I got the Boston accent. Art prints. Prints of artistic merit in every size, all kinds of sizes, poster size, small size, big size, postcards. You want half your wall finished, whatever. So from rad artists, and these people hook up the artists. It's not like some like factory where they got slave labor or AI generating art. This is from tattoo artists around the world. So tattooflashcollective.com. Go on their Instagram at Tattoo Flash Collective. And if you use the promo code BigTruth at checkout, you get 10% off your order. Now, if you're a Patreon subscriber, the percentage you get off is even bigger. So that's one of the privileges of patronage, right? So if you gotta fill up your whole house or your whole shop, you should sign up for Patreon, and then you get a bigger discount at Tattoo Flash Collective, and it pays for your Patreon subscription. Boom. Check it out. If you want more info on the podcast itself, go to bigtruthpodcast.com. And I like to remind you, I'm sitting here at Chop Ahead, right? It's 90-something degrees out. Massive amount of humidity, sweating like a whatever. I don't want to get thrown off of YouTube right away. So, but yeah, sweating like whatever. But I wish I had a tank top right now. So I might have to go buy a tank top of the podcast. But you can get whatever you want. They got hoodies, they got t-shirts, they got tank tops, they got V-necks, they got whatever. It's a merch fulfillment company that runs the store for the shop, for the podcast. So I don't even know if I mentioned, if you go to bigtruthpodcast.com, click on store, we got the merch store is open, and it's run by a merch fulfillment company, and they handle it all. So you don't have to wait for me to ship it out. They'll handle it, right? But they got everything over there. So check it out. Just click store when you go to the podcast. If you want to listen to the newest episode, just hit episodes. If you want to read about the show itself, hit info. If you want to harass me, go to contact. All right, so that's that. Last but not least, if you are into motorcycles at all, check out my shop, Chop Ahead Custom Cycles, CHOPPAHEAD.com. That chopahead.com. Online, we got a little store. We got swag. We got some parts. But I can pretty much get you whatever part you need. We're set up with everybody. So if you don't see it online, give us a call. Shoot us an email. We can get it for you. If you are in New England, we are full brick and mortar motorcycle shop. So you come here. There's a location, 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. We're not a warehouse. We're not a storage unit and, just sending things out of our parents' basement. We're a full brick and mortar, real deal motorcycle shop. We can work on your bike. We can sell you parts for your bike. We can sell you riding apparel. You need a helmet. We're set up with Simpson, Biltwell, Bell, Daytona helmets, whatever you need. And then I can get you a million more that are in the catalogs that we have that I just don't have here in the shop. And riding gloves, whatever you need. If you just want some pipes, we can get you whatever you want. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? It's a full-service brick and mortar motorcycle shop. We'll do an oil change for you. We'll build you a whole custom bike. Everything in between. www.chopahead.com. 13 County Road, East Freetown, Massachusetts. Give us a call, 508-995-6764. Ask for Ryan and bother him. Don't ask for me. I do answer the phone sometimes, so whatever. But yeah, chopahead.com. We got some new shirts coming. We got some badass shirt. We got a new shop shirt coming, a badass shirt. It's not out yet. maybe by the time this drops, it might be out. So you might have to check for that. And obviously, just follow me on Instagram at Big Truth, and you'll see it there. And follow Chop Ahead simply at Chop Ahead on Instagram. All right, that's about it. We're going to get into today's episode right now. My man Walter from Kickstart Cycles. He's been on before, but he's got some big news, some big event news dropping. So just listen right now.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have a liftoff.
Yes, once again, we have liftoff. I want to thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Big Truth Podcast. And again, this is one where we're going to have audio and video. So make sure if you want to watch this for some reason and see our faces that are made for radio, you can go to the YouTube channel, the Big Truth Podcast on YouTube, and watch this. But if you're just like me and you're old school with this and you just want to listen, then Apple or Spotify, wherever you're listening, then you can just listen and enjoy the audio. But I'm here with my man Walter, who you know from Kickstart Cycles, and also he was the guy that was that held the torch of the Gypsy Run for so many years, and in the Cheap Thrill Show, dude's holding it down in the great state of New Jersey, and an asset here in the Northeast to the general motorcycling community. So without further ado, Walter, what is up, my friend?
You are too nice. I'm going to hire you to follow me around for a week and just make me feel better about myself.
Nice on camera, right?
All right. Thank you very much, Drew.
No, man. Well, I mean, I don't even know how far back we go now, man. Well over a decade,
2007.
Okay.
I met you.
So almost 2 decades.
Yeah. First Gypsy Run, 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a while now, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah, that first Gypsy Run, man. Like I know you took the reins afterwards and made it way better, but that first one was so wild styled. It was so.
It
wild.
Was pretty crazy. It was pretty crazy. It was. But I honestly, that first year, I never had more fun on a run.
No,
and that's why I said, like, when the original organizers, they didn't even show up to their own run. It was crazy. So I was like, after the weekend,
Sean didn't show up, but Tag was with us. He was with us.
Oh, that's the
other guy.
That brother. Guy is a cool guy because he took all the shit for his brother.
Yeah. Because Sean was kind of like the main guy that was organizing it, and Tag was along with him. And then, but Tag showed up and Sean didn't.
Yeah. And he made like the worst anyway.
Yeah. Well, whatever.
It was crazy. It was good. I remember I was running with your buddy on the BSA.
Keith, yeah.
That guy is out of his mind, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely, like fucking legendary. He would. I remember all the sprocket came off of his rear mechanical drum.
Yeah.
And all of the rivets popped out. So we took like quarter 20s from everybody's license plate bracket.
Yeah.
And like screwed it back together. And I'm like, okay, man, just take it easy and you'll get to where we're going. He goes, stop, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
It was a fucking ledge. And he ended up fixing his oil tank.
That's right.
With a ratchet strap and a stick.
Yep.
It was the coolest thing I've ever seen. He was a fucking righteous guy.
Early days of Chopper in for all of us. And we'd already been at it for a few years, but like we were still younger and dumber and having a lot more fun, right? Keith used to run one of the coolest like Chopper hot rod fanzines there was. It was just called Wrench, and it was like it was one of those like quarter size ones, like this big. Like it wasn't a full size. It was like the quarter size. It was like an old like hardcore like metal zine or something.
Yeah, the zines. I love any like a half size. What is it? 5.5 by 8.5 zine and an 11 by 17 poster. it's like when I was a kid, that was it. It's like every punk rock poster I ripped off a wall was 11 by 17, and I do all the posters I do.
Yeah,
I'll do it like that just because of
just a throwback.
I love that format. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're in the season here. We're deep into June. And I know some places are lucky to have a year-round riding season, so blah, 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 but we're on the East Coast, so we're well in the season here. How are things going over at Kickstart? And what are you up to nowadays? Are you building anything cool? And let me phrase the question even broader. And have you opened up, and I believe we've talked about this before offline, but like I know a lot of us, like East Coast shops, like with the chopper craze being kind of done, like, have you adapted to the game, and are you doing like general service and repair stuff, or are you just doing builds?
I am right now. I have 4 builds going.
Cool.
Kind of at the same time, and I do engine work. Yep. So I just had a friend of mine come in with a 78 shovel that he loves. And it's like it's a real New York City like beat on, sleeper. You look at it and you're like, yeah, whatever. It's nothing to talk about. But I tell you what, it's a tough fucking bike.
Yeah.
And I love doing things like that, like making that as tight as it can be.
Sure.
I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually working on a few BMWs. I've been working the past couple of years. I've been doing a lot of vintage BMWs.
Oh, vintage.
They are. Yeah. They're cool as hell, man. Yeah, it's like it's a German shovel head. I mean, and other than the opposed thing, there's a lot of similarities between them. So that's been fun. It's like I get to use my metric wrenches occasionally. So.
Yeah. So, it's like funny because like our Mac tool guy always comes in, and there's all the specials are always on like metric shit, and I'm like, I don't need any of that. But like, I know. but like, I guess if we were doing the German shit, we probably would have to pick that stuff up. I do got all the old Whitworth shit from the Triumph. Yeah. You know what I mean, we still got that kicking around.
My nephew has a spot in the shop, and he's got a 51 BSA 350. Little rigid. He loves it. It's like the perfect size for him, and it's an awesome bike. It can't get out of its own way.
Has he had that for a while? I feel like that was there. That was
a couple of years
when we picked up the when I bought those machines off you.
Mm-hmm.
That was there, or you were talking about it at least. Yeah, that's cool.
He's still got it. He's like he's bought a bunch of other bikes and got into it, but he's keeping that one. So he's a cool kid.
Yeah,
he's
man. Right. Cool. So you got what are the builds that you're working on right now? I know offline you were talking about a couple pan heads and stuff. Like, what do you got going on for builds? Anything cool?
I have a 50 pan real classic chopper. Flame tanks, everything else is black, big apes, real classic chopper. Yeah, I mean, there's no other way to describe it. 3.5s. I'm rebuilding the transmission on that, and it's just trying to make it a clean, rider.
Yeah.
It was a little when the guy first got it, my customer first got it. And it's his first chopper. It wasn't set up right. Like your feet were in the wrong place, and you were stretching, and the apes were too high, so he was always off balance.
It was set up for a dude that's like 6'8" or something.
It was weird. It was very weird. I fixed it up, and then I took it around the block, and I ran away from it. And I'm like, you're going to kill yourself.
Yeah.
All right. So we're making it a little more ergonomic.
Yep.
And we put a ratchet top on the transmission so it's easier for him to shift. And that's going to be a real clean, just lean, nice bike. I got this this is a great one. I got a 58 Pan that I'm doing, rebuilding the motor on, that this woman bought when she was 18 years old, and it's never been apart. And she's in her 60s now.
Oh, that's rad.
She is a badass in the best sense. I mean, she's super cool, really, really smooth. And it's really nice to get a project like that where you're like, it means a lot to people. And she'd call me like once a week just to, how you doing? How's the bike coming along? And, just a sweet, fucking cool lady. I feel good about that one.
That's awesome. Yeah. You know what's crazy is I stopped in the store yesterday just to grab some drinks, and I saw this lady come in on a bike, and it was like a metric cruiser. I don't know what the bike was. I saw it just really brief, but what stood out to me, like, she had to be like 85, 90. Like, I'm not, and I was like, I was equal parts like, ooh, and then, but also like, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, that's cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I hope when I'm 85, 90, I'm still able to get up on two wheels, you know what I mean? But I was so stoked for it, but I was also like, she was coming in a little shaky, you know what I mean? So I was like, but you know what?
Give her a break. She's doing pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, and guess what?
Can you imagine if she's just started riding?
If she just started, yeah. And also the way I look at it, right? And I'm not, this isn't like foul or anything, but if she's that old and of that age and she's still riding and she goes out that way, hey, that's a warrior's death. She's gonna be she's gonna cross. She's gonna cross the bridge to Valhalla, right? Like, what a cool way to go. I'd much rather do that than be like in a nursing home and fucking shitting myself.
Yeah. I don't. I'd rather go quick and painful than waste away.
But if the pain is quick, it's cool, right? Like fucking.
Yeah. I almost got splattered the other day.
Oh yeah.
Riding around the neighborhood, and it scared the shit out of me, man. I didn't see the guy. I didn't see him coming, and I was at a stop sign, and I took a right, and he
was coming from the left.
Come out of nowhere. He was just moving faster than I thought he was.
Okay, yeah.
And we both got to the corner at the same time, and I, it wasn't his fucking fault at all. And he did the best thing he could, so I didn't die. And I appreciate that. But it's scary. It's especially what it's like: Boston, New York, Jersey, Connecticut. It's all
congested.
Very aggro. Not even aggro. It's just so many fucking people. And they're just trying to get home or wherever they're going.
Yeah. It's just nowadays. And, I've touted this, like, cause we do a lot of service and repair as well as the builds. And right around now is like, come July, August, we'll start seeing the insurance work, and people that rear-ended at stoplights, or like, people are in the right lane and decide to take a left and don't see the bike and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, we all know, anyone who rides knows the stories, but those start coming in, and that's always like, you know what I mean? Like, it's wild. It sucks, but.
Yeah, I've seen a couple. I've had a couple here that, oh my God. I saw off a Gypsy run. This one guy, really sweet heart of a guy. He had this really tight chopper, wide glide, low, like a billy bike, and the slab side shovel. He hit a guardrail on a turn. So he came over a thing, and then it was too
tight.
A hard left 90-degree turn. And he missed it, hit the bike, flew off of it, went through two, there was a sign that says caution. Or like an arrow, oh, turn this way. And it had two posts standing up there. He flew right through the post into this field this farmer's field. It's like the softest landing he could have made. The bike was literally, I mean, the you know how 41 millimeter front ends are. It was folded in half. And I was like, if I saw him before I saw the bike, and he looked great. And he goes, yeah, I crashed my bike. I figured he like low-sided it or something. And then when I saw it come in, I was like, you go to the hospital. You know?
Yeah.
And he's sitting there with a bottle of Jack Daniels. And he's like, no, I'm just going to take a nap. And I'm like, motherfucker, I'm like, what is wrong with you? Go to the hospital.
Yeah. A nap being the worst thing you could do if you had any head trauma, right? Like, fucking, but yeah, man. So
I don't want to talk about this the whole time. I don't want everybody to be like, oh, get traumatized because of the podcast.
Hey,
but be careful out there, guys. Eyes up.
Everyone that rides knows what's up. You gotta just keep your wits about you. But so 2 panheads, a couple of BMWs.
2 panheads, couple of BMWs. I have this great shovel sitting right over there.
That's the motor you're talking about, or a different bike?
This is a different bike. This is I just finished the restoration on a 72 original paint.
Oh, nice.
It was cool, and it was my buddy's bike. He bought it in like '92. Never touched it. Never had to work on it. And in the last 6 months, it kind of just like every possible problem showed up at the same time, and he just brought it over and was like, here, just fix it. And we had to like bottom up, wheels up. I mean, his wheels were out of true.
Yeah.
And but we just finished it up. It's lights right up, and it purrs like a kitten, man. It's another. I'll give him another 40,000 miles on that motherfucker.
Oh yeah, dude.
But this one, I have this weird bike. I've been working on it for a long time. Because I've been struggling with it because it's got this Craft Tech frame with this weird bend in the backbone. And I couldn't find the right tank to make it work. And it finally, I don't know how, but it all kind of came together. And I really struggled. I have never struggled so much putting a bike together, but now I love it.
Is it for you or a customer?
It's a customer bike. Okay. But it's when it rolled in, it was an old guy built it. But I mean, the big double brace under your transmission on a Harley frame, they cut that out, didn't reinforce anything else, and stuck a Softail transmission on top of it on a 4-speed setup.
And did it have a big motor? I would assume it probably had a big motor in it. No, stock.
88. Oh, okay. I think it is.
I was expecting to hear some like 100-inch S&S or something.
I wish that would have been cool, but it's a good motor. It's got S&S heads and it's got dual plugs, and the guy's going to kickstart it. So I made these little adapters for the right side spark plug holes with compression releases in it. So it's 10-1. It's not a lot, but you hit those releases, the whole, kicking it over is like effortless. And we put one of these like reduction gear, kicker gears. And so this is going to be the easiest kickstart only bike. Or at least that's the plan. We'll see. But I've done everything I can to make it that way.
You got to make the video where you're doing it with your hand or something. You know what I mean?
No. I'll just, like if I could kick it over like a Triumph, I will be so happy.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw the trike I have back there, the Rum Runner, and that's got a panhead in it, and it's the best because you can just sit. It's got big Krager wheels. You can sit on the wheel and like kick it while you're sitting down It's the best. Like, I think I got a video of that somewhere.
I have a Survey car next door. Yeah. And as like a full restoration Springer front, really nice, pretty, it's got all the right bits to it. And I put the engine back together, and then I'm like, man, the 45 transmissions are like another foot on the kicker side. They're huge. And I'm like, man, this thing is, I'm going to hit the fender. It's not comfortable. You can't like stand over the bike to start it.
Yeah.
I kicked it over with my left foot on the right side of the bike. So I'm like standing next to the bike, holding the throttle like this, and half a kick, and it lit right up. I love flatheads more than anything. They're amazing.
Yeah.
My favorite engine.
We have a 41 that we're doing a build on for a guy back there as well. And it's fun. It's fun until you have to find shit for it, and then you like, these fucking race of gentlemen motherfuckers ate everything up. And it was shit that used to be dirt cheap and plentiful is now like very sought after. And I'm just kidding, like obviously more power to you, but you know what I mean? Like, I just like to give them a time, we like to buzz balls, right?
There are, you can still find some stuff, and I don't know why.
Server cars are still cheap for some reason.
Wait, what?
You can still find good deals on server cars, like with everything, like the motors and everything. Like for some reason, like if you like server car, if you found like a 2-wheel flathead in a server car, the server car is like three grand cheaper for some reason out here at least.
No, I see that because you need a garage for them. They're big. They're it's Listen, man, if my legs ever got fucked up or I had a peg leg or some shit like that, I'd be on that in a second, Yeah. And, it's better than those. What the hell are they called? The ones with the 2 wheels in the front?
Spider, a Can-Am.
Dude, those offend me. I swear to God, I'd rather ride a scooter than one of those. They're not motorcycles. It's transportation for cowards, man. Just get on a bike. Yeah. Get on a fucking bike or buy a car, because they have ones now that you can.
Oh yeah. No, that's different. Yeah, that's like a big go-kart. Now, but on those Can-Ams, what I will say is, have you ever ridden one?
Yeah.
So we had a customer one here, and I will say this. I feel like that is a little funner to ride than a modern Harley trike.
I haven't ridden one of those.
So you haven't ridden, because we've done work on modern Harley trikes. Like, I'm not talking about, I'm not talking about server cars or like some old chopper trikes, because like the Rum Runner is a lot of work, but it's fun as fuck to ride. But it's a lot of work. But for some reason it feels better, like to me, than the 2 wheels in the back of a modern trike.
You know what it is? I don't know what it is. And I don't know why I'm so offended by them.
I get
it. But it's
because you're...
Never. I'd stop riding. If the choice
that was it,
sell your bike or ride one of those, I'd be selling a bike.
Yeah. I get you.
Do you want?
We all have irrational hatreds. Like I love it. I embrace irrational hatreds. Embrace the shit out of it, dude. Go ahead. What were you saying?
What are your thoughts on the Bike Riders movie?
So the premiere was Tuesday. I had a chance to go to it, but I couldn't make it. And my buddy that went to it said that it was very bland and boring.
The movie itself?
The movie itself. I don't know. Like, I used to love that book. I have the Danny Lyons book, and I have
a print of it that I bought off of his estate, or I think he passed away. I'm not sure. But,
I don't know. Yeah.
I bought a little print that I got in my house, and of his things. I love that book. I mean, that was too. When I was a kid, I was like, holy shit.
Some of the coolest motorcycle images out there. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm reserving any opinion on the movie till I see it. I'm going to try and see it soon. I may or may not have a Canadian black box, unlocked cable box that like that shows things like, so I'm going to wait till it pops up on that. Or, I mean, I'm probably honestly going to go see that in the theater realistically. Because why wouldn't we go see that? Right.
I know it's like, if there was a movie made for us, I think that's the one.
Worst comes to absolute worst. If the movie is complete shit, at least there's rad bikes in it for us to look at. Like, you know what I mean? Because I think Oliver Peck has a couple of his panheads in that movie. Like he rented out to them and stuff. And I mean,
like the hero bike, I don't know what, Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
The guy, the one that he's riding, the red 56, I think 56 or 58. That's his. I just saw that today when you mentioned it. Gorgeous bike. I mean, every single bike that I've seen in the commercials I'm like, oh, I love that one. Oh, I like that one better.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. I'm telling you, for swing arm panheads are, if this movie does well, I think swing arm panheads prices are going up.
Yeah, I got a 62 frame back there that like is probably going to go up in price.
There you go. Invest in swing arm 4-speed frames, ladies and gentlemen. There's your your investment tip for today.
Yeah. But why? What are your thoughts on it? Preliminary thoughts on it?
Generally, anytime people do a club thing, it historically has been either like a bike exploitation movie, like a cheesy 60s thing.
I love the Roger Corman ones though. I love those old, anything like Hell's Angels on Wheels, any of those, like any of the 60s biker movies, especially the Roger Corman ones. They had some of the raddest choppers in them. Like the same thing. Even if the movie sucks to watch, like the bike scenes, I'll be pausing and looking and just to look at the bikes and stuff. And so I love it.
I think anything that is cool, or it's a story. It's a friggin' movie. It's a story. It's not real. I'm sure they pluck some things from history, but it's a movie. It's not worth getting your panties in a bunch over.
Sure.
But anything, I hate it when they get little details wrong.
Yeah.
Like the guy starting the bike the wrong way, or I know. But it.
You know what the worst one is? I'll point it out. Is in the Indiana Jones movie that has Shia LaBeouf in it. He's supposed to be riding a panhead, and it's a fucking Evo. It's like, come on, man! Don't at least buy those stupid panhead jugs that you can put on top to make it look like a panhead and stuff.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. So I love that they're real bikes.
Yeah.
And we know the guys who own them, which is pretty cool. I think anything that turns people on to bikes is good.
Yeah.
Even like Sons of Anarchy. I watched it. I put a lot of Ness fairings on FXRs after that. But it's overall, it's a positive thing, and it helps our thing.
Yeah.
And this one, I mean, for me, that's my friggin' market right there. Is old
era bikes,
Harley 4-speed frames. It's we'll see. I hope it's good. And I hope it gets people excited about riding old motorcycles.
Sure. Now, so, I mean, I feel the same in that way. Like, we haven't had anything in a while, like, literally, like, right? So, in the early 2000s, we had all those Discovery shows, and for better or for worse, right? And they launched all kinds of stupid trends, right? And then we had the Sons of Anarchy, where anyone who made a black fairing made a lot of money, or anyone who sold white sneakers made a lot of money. And then
I actually saw in public a guy wearing a SOA cut.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. I'm like, bro, you're going to have a hard lesson coming your way at some point. You run into any real dudes.
Didn't you watch the show? It's like,
yeah.
But they don't, that's the thing. It's like, they don't know any better, and they get themselves in trouble. And
it's also like those dudes that wear the Black Label Society 3-piece cut. And it's like, you ever see that? And it's like, bro, what are you doing?
Yeah, he gets a pass though, doesn't he? It's a music
he does. I don't think the fans do everywhere, Yeah, I've seen a fan in a Black Label Society cut have a little discussion.
Really?
Yeah, in a bar in Providence.
You gotta learn these things one way or another.
Yeah,
it's a part of the culture, I guess.
But yeah, so we had Sons of Anarchy and the Mayans, and Mayans was good. Mayans was cool for me because Nate or Elgin, the dude that was writing it, is an old friend, and I've had a couple of friends that are really close friends that were in the show, so that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
And shout out to Frankie Loyal and Loki because they're both really good friends of mine. Frankie's been on the show right in the beginning. He was like one of the early guests. But yeah, we haven't had anything since that, right? Really? So this is the first thing.
I can't think of anything.
Now, do you think it's going to bring? You think it's going to bring rockabilly and greaser shit back?
I hope so.
There's gonna be a bunch of Fonzies at bike.
I love that stuff. If I could,
the new cosplay isn't going to be like I'm a 70s Black Sabbath dude. It's going to be all Fonzies again. Just like fucking.
You know what?
Like Born Free 16. It's going to be all
that was my look. Back when I was a kid, I had like slick back hair, fucking white shirt, jeans, boots. That was my look, man. That wouldn't bother me too much.
Hey, we're also old enough. Like 20 years ago, there was still a lot of rockabilly dudes that were riding panheads and old bikes. Like, so there was a lot of that. That style was still kind of kicking around, like in the early 2000s.
I remember when I was a kid, I got the Stray Cats first album.
Yep.
And on the back there. Oh my God, I can't remember his name. Brian Setzer was on an Indian.
Yeah.
And he was like all in leather pants, leather jacket with the fucking Eddie Cochran hairdo. The coolest looking motherfucker. I was like, oh my God, I want to be fucking Brian Setzer.
Yeah.
I suck at guitar. So but I could get the bike.
But a funny thing,
he's always had cool bikes too. He's really rides, and I remember going out to California one time when the Garage Company was in their original place, and years ago, like 2005 or something like that. It was crazy, and I walked in their shop. I met Keo, and Brian Setzer had one of his bikes there, and it was a custom Triumph. And I think Keo built it for him. Beautiful. Yeah. I mean, he does amazing work, but I mean, it was a cool bike. That guy's got taste for days.
Oh, hell yeah. I lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, and speaking of music
we
stuff.
We can edit this part.
No, I don't edit anything, dude. That's why. Especially now that it's video. Like the audio, I can edit a little bit. Video, I don't know what I'm doing yet. So this is early. You're only like the fourth one where we're doing the video. Third or fourth one, right?
I'm sorry, audience.
Yeah. But one thing that...
What did you say before? We got faces for radio.
Faces for radio, right?
Correct.
Two things I want to cycle back to really quick. One, when you said New York sleeper shovelhead.
Oh.
It's fucking true, man. Like, there were some shops, like Larry and fucking Psycho Cycles and stuff they were building shovelheads and getting such fucking power out of them. We had one of Larry's old bikes here. It's still here. And
get out of town.
Yeah, it was in early days, I think it was built in 95. Kino and
Paul,
Mr. Cox, both gave us the history of the bike. Paul knew the bike. He did the leather work on it. And it was built for a guy named Indio in the 90s. And the bikes here, it needed some work because had been banged up a little bit, and he wanted to do different bars and stuff, in a different tank because it had some damage and stuff. But
they built riders, man.
That bike,
they're meant to be beat up.
I'm trying to buy the bike because I want to pull the motor apart to reverse engineer it because I want to know the tricks, because that bike pulls like a fucking twin cam, and it's, like, it's one of the strongest shovel heads I've ever pulled, like, been on. Like, I'm like, this thing pulls like a motherfucker, dude. Like, and I want to know what they did, like, because it's beautiful. Like, it's so fun to ride. It's so fun. And
I broke down my panhead last year and rebuilt it, and that bike, even I beat on it, and it was, when I broke it down, it was seeping from every place it could seep oil from, and I broke it apart because I had to, or I wouldn't have a bike anymore. And I've always thought it was a great bike, and 75 all day long, pulls like a train. Now it's a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It's got a big ass buddy seat on it. It's a nerdy looking, it's a bagger. It's a 60s bagger. And I absolutely love that bike. It's a one kick panhead, and it's cool. I'm really surprised. Just tightening it up. I didn't do anything to it.
Yeah.
I just, put the compression back where it was supposed to be, and it's a whole new bike.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy, right? Because people buy a bike, especially a bike that old, you don't know when the last time anything was done. I'm not saying you like yours, but like just in general, we got customers come in, and whose hands have been in it, what kind of roadside repairs were done that were like, all right, we'll just get this till we can get it done right. And then it's like, all right, it just works.
And they never get it done right.
Yeah. All the shit you find. We had one where we split the cases, and like the shaft came right out of the flywheel, like, but the dude said it had been riding. So it's like,
some guys are lucky.
It's also amazing the tolerance is like, because they are kind of like tractor motors, like how much you can get away with on one of these older bikes, like as far as like, you know what I mean? Like it'll still run.
They're very forgiving. Yeah. I mean, you can, the range sometimes is like, 10 to 40,000.
Yeah.
Like, what are you? That's fucking insane. I like to be as close as I can.
Sure. Yeah.
But I love shovels. Yeah, I wish I had the money, because I saw this 110. I can't remember, but it was a Harman motor, and the guy wanted like $15,000 for it.
Yeah,
and I wish I bought it. I wish I had the money. I would have, or tried a little harder.
Sure.
To come up with it, but because those things were. He was the first guy to build big shovels.
Yeah.
Like really powerful bikes. And I would have loved to have that. I'm sure Jesse James or one of those guys has it now.
Sure, yeah. One of the chopper money guys, right? So the other thing, because we were skirted around music for a little bit. I don't know if we talked about this the first time you were on the your first episode, but I don't think a lot of people know that you were also a music guy, and you were like a road crew guy and in the thrash scene and stuff. Or didn't you roadie for like Anthrax and stuff like that?
I did. When we did Persistence of Time, that album I toured on. That was for probably 2 years I worked for them. They're a great bunch of guys.
Yeah.
I mean, absolutely to a man. Fantastic guys. And I bumped into Scott a few years ago. I've never, he's like a happy, middle-aged dude with a van. It's really nice to see.
Yeah. They did, they toured last year or the year before they were out on tour. I know they played out here.
I worked for Charlie. Then I was his drum tech. And
is that a train?
What's that?
Did a train just go by? East Coast.
Outside the door.
We're hearing it right now. Yeah.
That's the commuter. I'm in Manhattan in like 15 minutes.
There you go.
Charlie, have you seen him lately? He did that Pantera tour. He looks exactly the same 30 years later.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. The guy does not age. Scott looks great too, but Charlie literally didn't look like he aged a day since I knew him. You know.
I think music and choppers are kind of like Peter Pan in a way. Like they keep us a little bit young. I mean, we got a little more gray on the chin than we used to, but still feel young. You know what I mean? Still immature as fuck.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. It's like, I'm happy. I'm still here. You know, I didn't think I'd last this long at this.
Yeah.
But you know, it's nice. I did the music stuff for, you know, like I did bikes, when I'd be between tours.
Yeah.
And I'd try to like buy a cheap bike and fix it up and, you know, learn and
something to do in between tours. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I'd try to, you know, make some money on it and sell it. And, you know, it was a good learning experience. I couldn't afford, you know, to pay somebody else to do it. So I had to learn.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of overlap though. Like even like we kidding around talking about Jesse James earlier. He was a road crew. He used to roadie for Danzig.
I worked for a band called Circus of Power.
I remember that.
I loved that. They were so great live. And we were opening for Danzig on that Mother album. What was that one called?
It was just called Danzig. Just Danzig.
The first one. Yeah. And I was doing guitars, and I was a horrible guitar tech, but I tried my best. And they fired their tech, and they asked me to sit in for a couple days until they could get the new guy out. And they used to like behind the amps, and we were playing like really small clubs. It was before the
wait a minute.
Album really hit.
Were you on the tour? Did you do the Providence, Rhode Island show at the Living Room?
Yeah.
I was at that show. I literally almost fought Danzig at that show. I was the 16-year-old kid in the front that had the sign that said "Play Bullet," and he was getting aggravated. And then they played Halloween, and I ripped the mic out of his hand, and I started singing Halloween. And
Did he chase you around the venue?
He didn't chase me around the venue, but he came out like, and then his like manager or something came out, and they both want to fight me. And I was like, all right, bro, I'm right here.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was there. Glenn would do some fucked up shit back then. And like they used this kid, I remember this tiny little kid, baby kid, East Coast somewhere. And we played and packed up our gear, and then they're out the door. You know, the bus was out back, and they came to the door, and they're knocking on the door, and I opened it up, and it's got a panic bar on it, but it was off his hinges, and it couldn't close.
Okay.
So I'm like, motherfucker, blah, 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 blah. And Glenn turns to not me, but our drum tech, this guy, Chris, another really cool guy, and total mellow, easy to get along with dude, gets in his face like, what the fuck you doing? You talking to me like trying to pick a fight before he's walking on stage. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, dude, he was talking about the fucking door. All right, take a fucking chill pill, man. Relax.
Yeah.
And it kind of, settled down, and he went up and did. And so that night, this little kid had an Instamatic camera, like the ones like Kodak, and then you send the whole camera and get the film back. And he took a picture, and he's right on the front, and there was maybe 100 people in the whole venue. He comes off the stage after the guy, and he's chasing this little kid around the venue. And I was like, what? He is a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's literally out of his mind. So he was so angry. He wanted to fight everybody.
So, like, my thing was, I was a big Misfits fan when I was a kid, and I like Sam Hain, a little bit. But when Danzig came out, like, it was like, all right, this is Danzig from the Misfits. Like, we didn't know what to expect. I wasn't expecting like a little mesh half shirt and a leather jacket and all that shit, right? So like I was still like punk rock kid. I was like, yo, play Bullet. And I'm like writing all these Misfits songs. And I'm just antagonizing them because we're fucking East Coast shithead fucking punk rock kids. So we're fucking with them, right? And then like finally they played Halloween. I was like, fuck this. And I grabbed the mic and I started singing. Then like he's trying to fight me. The manager comes out and this is guy. I'm like, bro, like I'll fight whoever. Let's do it. And then it just got squashed and everything. But I'm so happy you were at that show. Like
I was there.
It's so fucking funny, dude.
I gotta be. I don't remember the.
No, yeah, of course, yeah. Why would you remember that? You were probably out back or anything. But I had Erie Vaughn on the podcast, and he's cool as fuck.
Dude, Erie,
that dude rules.
Chuck Biscuits, John Christ, and Erie Vaughn, and Glenn.
Yeah.
Erie. Everybody was so fucking cool, and I really got along with Erie. He was a great guy. Easy to talk to. Super cool. He was great on stage.
Yeah.
And the whole band was great, man. Chuck Biscuits was a fucking mother. I've never met a drummer who sat higher on his drum throne. It was like he was standing up. And
yeah.
You know, he was amazing. That was a fun tour. All of that.
Yeah, those first 3 records are fucking classic. If Glenn could get it together, and I don't know, whatever is got to be behind it, whatever. If you can get the Misfits together, you need to get like Danzig the band together. And if he toured on that, how big that would fucking be. Like just do the first 3 records and just have the dudes back.
Chuck passed away recently.
Oh, did he?
In the past couple of years, I think so. Please, I don't want somebody.
I don't know. Yeah,
Google that for me.
You know what the fucking sad thing is about all this is that we're old enough where we don't know if people have passed away yet or not. Like we know a lot of people that have gone. So it's like, did that dude go? Like I think so. I might have. Yeah, fucking sad. It's
around that time. It happened. It sucks. It's every time it sucks. And you never see it coming. I got to be honest with you though. I really miss David Bowie out of everybody who is shuffled off lately.
Yeah,
David Bowie was the coolest motherfucker, and just him being around made me feel better about the human race,
about the world. Did you have a tour? Did you know him?
No, I did two. I have 2 David Bowie stores. One, and anyway, I was. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm not being dropped. But
no.
I was working for Bon Jovi.
Yeah,
I was.
Well, you're from New Jersey. Like you, at sooner or later.
Yeah.
If you're in the music industry,
you have to.
Everybody's gonna work for Bon Jovi at some point.
The joke back then was like Kiss would go through road crews like underwear. They would just cycle through because I imagine they weren't very fun to work with.
Yeah.
And I did do a tour with them where I was working for the opener for like 8 shows, and it was uncomfortable. Yeah. It was uncomfortable.
You're very diplomatic. You're very diplomatic.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
I really am. I'm trying to be a more positive person.
There you go.
So David Bowie. So I was working for Bon Jovi, and I was working for Tico, who is an underrated drummer and one of the nicest guys I've ever worked for. Actually, I'll go so far as to say that about the whole fucking band. John gave me a ton of opportunities. He was real cool. He loaded trucks with us. I mean, I know he gets a lot of shit, but he works hard, and that whole organization was really good. And they love their crew. Yeah. And they treated the crew really, really much better than I've ever been treated. Paid. You get to fly business. I mean, it was crazy, like a lot of shit. But my kid got sick when we were on tour, and they had to bring him back to the hospital, and I freaked out. I didn't, it was bad.
Yeah.
And John gave me kick the guy off of his private plane and gave me a ride home in the middle of a leg.
Yeah.
Just so I could spend a day with my kid and make sure everything was okay. I mean, he's that kind of guy.
That's awesome.
So it really is. So anyway, I was working for Tico, and he had an apartment in the city, and I was helping him in the off time of renovating the apartment. And I would go to this one bodega all the time, right around the corner. And I was in there one day getting smokes and a coffee, and there's this guy standing right in front of me. And then he turns to the counter, and I'm like, holy fuck, it's David Bowie. And he buys and he lived in the neighborhood. I heard that he lived in the neighborhood. He buys a pack of Marlboros, and he was like, hey. And then I'm like, holy shit, that was David Bowie. And I've been working for bands since I was 16. I don't get
starstruck, whatever. Yeah.
Starstruck, but fucking David Bowie. And I go to the guy at the counter. I'm like, was that David Bowie? He goes, who fucking cares?
Yeah, that's New York right there. Who gives a fuck?
Yeah. And I walk out, and I just start going back to the apartment, and he's right in front of me. We're both going in the same direction. And I you know how in New York there's like this, you just don't bug people.
Yeah.
You don't bug famous people. They want to do their own thing. You just leave them the fuck alone. It's the only time I wanted to break that unwritten rule. Yeah. I'm like, and I'm walking a little faster, and I'm like, all right, okay, if he goes this way, I'm going to say hi.
You're pacing David Bowie right now.
So I'm like 10 feet behind him, and then I see this guy coming the opposite way down the street, and he's just pissed off. It's like 7 o'clock in the morning. He's just going to work. And he has this just fuck you look on his face, and he's just, and then he looks up and he sees David Bowie, and I have this burned in my brain. I saw this miserable motherfucker absolutely change just by holy shit, it's David Bowie. His whole face lit up, and he had this huge smile, and you could tell he was like a huge fan.
Yeah.
And then he gets to me and he goes, dude, was that David Bowie? I go, yeah, that's David Bowie. He goes, oh my God, that was so cool. And he walks over, and it was so great seeing just by walking down the street, the motherfucker made that guy's life better for at least a couple of minutes. And it was, and then after that, I was like, I kind of peeled off and went my way.
Was this in the vicinity of Mott Street by any chance?
It was 14th Street and Broadway.
Okay.
I know it was by actually not Broadway, but like the Puck Building, which is like this. I don't know what it is. It's an apartment building. It's got stores in it. It's a famous New York building, and it was Soho-ish.
Yeah.
And
because Vinny Stigma from Agnostic Front lives there. And but his family's lived there for generations, so he's like he has a rent controlled apartment, and he's like, yeah, David Bowie lives over there, blah 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 lives over there. They all want to live near me. So because so this is my little capper of my David Bowie story. So we did a 9/11 concert. And it was like a big benefit concert after 9/11. And Bon Jovi was playing, and I was up there doing my thing. And it was the craziest show I've ever seen. And it was Paul McCartney was there, David Bowie was there. It was absolutely insane, the level of famous musicians. Sure.
I was working up on stage. I'm just, doing my thing, plugging in cables and stuff. And the sound checks were the best part of the show. They would be fucking around and doing covers, and everybody be like, and it was a lot of fun. And somebody starts playing a Beatles song, and I turn around, and I'm like 5 feet away from Paul McCartney as he's singing I'm Down, I think the song was. And I was like, holy shit, I'm on stage with fucking a Beatle.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh shit, I'm on stage with a Beatle, and I got to run. I ran away. But David Bowie opened the show, and he I think he played 2 songs. He played. He just sat down on the stage. Everything's dark. There's just one spotlight, and he does a Paul Simon song on a auto harp. You know what that is? It's like this. It's a weird instrument to like teach you music theory. It's just like a chord thing. You hit, it's like A, B, So he's plucking out the melody on this weird electronic instrument, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. And then they did Heroes, and then he came off stage, and I finally kind of like I was passing him, and I went, "Hey man, that was amazing," and he just turned and went like that, and and walked off, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. That's like my favorite memory of me, my whole music business stuff.
Yeah,
was that.
You doing any of that anymore? Or are you done?
Nah. I haven't done anything since like 2010.
Yeah,
and it's fun, but it's not I quit doing it for a reason.
Yeah.
So
especially you got kid or something, like you can't be on the road all that time, and it's tough.
No, he's not a kid anymore, but I like what I'm doing, and I work for myself, and I don't have to travel, and the music industry has changed a lot in the past 10 years. It's crazy. I mean, it's like the way shit's done now, I wouldn't even be comfortable, doing it.
I tell you what, though, doing that stuff and chopper stuff or motorcycle stuff, like, it's two very cool ways to get by in the world, right? Like,
yeah, and it's not bad.
It's not bad, right? Really, it's like better than roofing in July. You know what I mean? Fucking
the music stuff. That is one thing I will say. I miss the money.
Yeah,
because the way you make a lot of money is to hang out with people that have a lot of money.
Yeah,
and I got paid really. At the end of it, I was a stage manager and a production manager. So, that's other than the tour manager is the top guy on the he's the boss.
Yeah.
And then production, stage manager, crew, and every department has a department head.
Yeah, man. No, I know. I have a bunch of friends that are still involved, and but like you said, it is a different world now. You know what I mean? As far as music stuff,
I still like doing drum stuff, and I'll put a kit together every once in a while. And music is still fun. It's just music
industry
for a living. That's not fun. Yeah,
I get it. So you still fuck around and still play drums?
Yeah. I wanna start a cover band.
Well, if you want me to pick up an auto harp, you know what I mean? I'm down. I lost your audio, bro. I can see you, but I can't hear you. I can't hear. Hold on. We got some technical difficulties. We have some technical difficulties. You're gonna have to switch over to the mic on the computer, bud. His earbuds died. Give us 1 second, people that are, if the video, you can see what's going on, but if you're listening just on audio, you can't. So let me take this second to say, if you are only listening, then you could also check this out on YouTube. If you like and subscribe to at the Big Truth Podcast, you can watch Walter struggle right now as he's trying to figure out going from the earbuds to the computer microphone. Should be in your settings somewhere. You gotta have your audio mic be the computer mic. You're talking, but I can't hear anything. I can see your mouth moving. If you want me to mimic you, if you want me to try and read lips.
How about now?
No, there you are, buddy. You're back. You're back.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
Right. You know what, motherfucker? I think your computer mic actually sounds better than your earbuds.
Oh, this is the computer mic now? Okay. But I'm hearing you on my headphones.
Oh, I don't know. Right, or whatever you just switched to, I think sounds a little bit better.
Okay.
All right. Well, whatever. So
sorry about that, folks. I didn't mean to just,
Hey, whatever.
Show.
Listen, we have you have some big news, and I want you to get to that because we're already an hour in. So let's get to that. Oh my God! Remember, we didn't even know what we were going to talk about. Now we're already an hour in. Let's talk about Cheap Thrills and the triumphant, bigger return of Cheap Thrills.
Yes, we've had a couple of years off because we've been searching for a venue.
It's the worst. In the East Coast, that's the worst fucking thing, is trying to find a venue with the space to fit a bunch of motherfuckers.
I'm not kidding you, I found a venue that is the biggest place I've ever seen. It was in the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It was perfect. $40,000 a day.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't do that.
Let me rephrase. Finding a venue that is big enough to put on the shows that we like to put on, that is affordable, is like a holy grail type of situation.
It's very hard to find. We went to Philly. We went to Manhattan, Brooklyn, everywhere in Jersey. We even thought about doing the Meadowlands for a little bit, but we couldn't really cut a deal. I don't think they wanted to hear from us, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But this is, I'm going to ramble if I haven't been already, but because this is not promoter talk. I am honestly excited about this show because this is going to be fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like
when you hit me up,
amount of shit.
Yeah. When you hit me up, I could hear it in your voice. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Let's go.
I was very excited. So we've rented a track, an infield at the New Jersey Motorsports Park in Millville, which is South Jersey-ish, but it's like an hour from Manhattan. It's like less than an hour from Philly. It's pretty central, and like Baltimore's, I think maybe an hour and a half or 2 hours. It's pretty good. The venue is insane. It's 300 acres, 2 full racetracks, and an airport.
So fly in, motherfuckers, fly in. If you got it like that, you can fly in.
So the basic plan is we have we can easily accommodate like 400 swap spots, 400 vendor spots. We've got a chopper show, mini bike races, which Matt Stout and do you know Rob from Crazy Gentleman?
Yeah, I know Rob. He's a homie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Rob's helping us out. Matt Stout, who builds these race-ready mini bikes.
Yeah.
But proper mini bike. He makes one with a sidecar rig, like nice. A little monkey rig, like the I don't know, what do you call that? Sidecar racing.
Yeah. Well, like the ice racers too have a little setup like that too. Like if you do an ice race.
So you can lean out on it and stuff. So Matt's going to run and he's done Flat Out Friday mini bike stuff. So we brought him in to class up the mini bike races this year. We're going to have like 60 tattoo artists. We've got a clubhouse, which is going to house all of the tattoo artists. Everything else is outside. We have so much room to grow.
Yeah,
it's crazy, and all we have this year. Oh, and so we're on it like the infield of the big track, the long track, and they're having a track day while we're doing the show, so that you could look like the whole day. There's a race going on around us.
Nice.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then we have food trucks, tattoo spots, fucking swap spaces, vendor spots. What else? Got a stunt show, chopper show, of course. We're going to do a ride-in show. The guy that wins, whoever wins like best in show, we're going to send him, we're going to put him in Mama Tried. They're partnering with us. So we're going to give, whoever wins is going to win a spot in Mama Tried show. And we're going to give him like, $500 to help him get there. And a bunch of prizes, a bunch of giveaways. But the coolest part is that we're working out like a multi-year deal with these guys. So once we get one under our belt, we're going to be able to actually race, like put on a race. Nice. And I wish this was my idea. It wasn't. I wish it was. Chicken Rick came up with it. Okay. And it's the best idea I've ever heard. Vintage bagger racing. So I think it's going to be it's going to be hilarious one way or another, watching like balloon tire shovel heads run around the track. So there's a short track with a lot of twists and turns, and we're going to put them on that.
Nice.
And then we're going to do a 45 race on asphalt and a like an Evo Sportster hooligan race on asphalt. So that's the plan. So all we got to do is pull this one off this year, and then next year
it gets even wilder. Yeah,
it's even crazier. We're already like planning for next year. We're already like working on a bunch of.
Now on the vintage bagger, what's the cutoff? Because everyone's going to ask that.
Shovelhead.
All right, so
it's got to be shovelhead.
Shovel or earlier.
Shovelheads, shovel or pan, 4-speed frame. You can do whatever you want, and they just have to have bags on them. You can make them out of cardboard. I don't care. It'll probably be funnier. There's not going to be a lot of rules, but yeah, and I like it because you could still get a swing arm shovel cheap.
Yeah.
And build yourself a fun bike to run around. I'm sure we'll think of something like a displacement.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You got a little bit of time to figure that out, but it's just general. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But
man.
I tell you, because we were talking about doing a bagger race, because I haven't seen one yet, but everybody like hardcore like chopper dudes, like I only ride choppers, nothing else. They're like, yeah, I didn't think much of it until I saw one, and everyone I've talked to about it has been like, oh, it's actually fucking cool.
I haven't seen a vintage bagger race. I've only seen like the new stuff. You know what I mean? Like, yeah,
that's what we were talking about. We were talking about like maybe partnering with one of those. There's like 2 leagues that do it, and they actually, I don't know if they're doing one this year, but they've raced there before. So we're trying to reach out to those guys and see if we could maybe team up,
get them on board
next year. Yeah. But they have I'm going to go down for a vintage race, I think next month, which is an AMCA deal, and that's going to be cool. There's a lot of flatheads racing on that, and JDs and Knuckles and stuff. Those guys are serious.
Oh fuck yeah, man! That's going to be fucking rad, man. What is the date this year? The dates.
The date is October 12th, Saturday, October 12th. and it's going to run 10 to 6 or 10 to 8, and then Friday night we're going to have some pre-party stuff, and we're trying to rent out a drive-in theater and do like chopper drive-in, only motorcycles, and show old biker movies, like we were talking about before, about like the werewolves on wheels.
Werewolves on wheels, yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. I know we talked about maybe doing some podcast shit too, and I'll talk to Rob if you want to do that, because Rob with the Crazy Gentleman stuff, like we'll do some shit with that. That'll be fun as fuck.
Yeah, can I say that the Truth will be live streaming?
Yes, we're gonna do. I did that at Mama Tried, and it was fun as fuck. So we will do it from the October 12th at Cheap Thrills. We will do something. We'll get it going. We're gonna do it live, and we'll have a bunch of motherfuckers on there, and we're gonna talk a lot of shit.
Dude, I really appreciate it.
Very good shit. Very nice shit.
Supportive
of course, man. Bro, how much time do we have into this shit out here? I know, think about how far, and I'm not touting anything, but think about how far, like when we were first doing stuff, like the East Coast was very slept on, and now it's way more formidable, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And there's a lot more people. It's weird to me, but I love it and hate it. I'll see motherfuckers in my town that I don't even know on a chopper, and I'm like, who is that? I used to know everybody on a chopper, and I kind of like that I don't, because I'm like, all right, cool. Like it's still there, you know. And there's so much time, so I support any East Coast shit. Like I support everything. I support chopper shit in general, but if it's East Coast, even more, fuck yeah.
I feel the same way, man. It's because like when I first started riding, or even up to like I know I'm dating myself now, but the Jockey Journal, that was the first time that I'm like, holy shit, there's other people that like old bullshit.
Yeah.
It was, and I know there was guys out there, I'd see them every once in a while, but it wasn't a community thing.
Yeah.
And I met you through that, because the Gypsy Run came out of that.
Yeah.
And Big Nick and a lot of guys.
Peace was his birthday yesterday, man.
Oh man.
Yeah. No.
I love that guy.
Me too.
I love that guy. It's like you said, it was, dude, guys used to laugh at me for riding a shovel.
Yeah.
Like when the Evos came out and everybody, that was it's true. It's the engine that saved Harley Davidson. And that is 100% a fact. But it wasn't, it's like, I didn't like Evos because they were popular, or I couldn't afford one. I didn't like Evos because of the people that rode them.
Yeah.
Were yuppie motherfuckers, man, and a lot of loose lips.
Yeah.
Back then.
Yeah, it was wild, man. I was on a Triumph back then, so it was even worse, right? Cause I remember dudes being like, "Don't worry, someday you'll get there." Like what? Like to a fucking Evo, dude. Like now, fucking Evos are like fucking what? You can get one for like $600. Like like fucking.
Yeah, it's a great motor, man. They're
workhorses, man.
They get power of. They're fucking good motors. It's half a shovel head. Yeah. The lower part is all shovel head.
Yeah, half a shovel. But yeah, no.
The oh, you know something? I forgot. There is something I'd like to plug, I guess.
Sure, of course.
I've been doing these maintenance 101 classes.
Okay.
And so the vintage bike maintenance classes, and I'll they take people. It's like 4 hours, and people come to the shop. And I show them how like all the systems work.
Yeah.
And like how your electrical system works, what it does, and and how your oiling system works and stuff like that. And it's stuff that it would have saved me a lot of time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'm like,
I'm only laughing thinking about you trying to show electrical systems on old bikes, and then like how every old bike, the electrical system is like completely fucked and different. Like, you know what I mean? Like no one has an intact electrical system on an old bike, like unless you rewired it or like did it from scratch. So people are like, what's that?
I love wiring. I really do. I like a neat little, I get the perfect little, ring terminal, the right size. And I love doing it. I have a 2014 Sportster next door. And the trunk cable on it is, I'm not joking. It's like that thick.
Yeah.
And all of the connectors are huge, and I'm completely out of my element. I like
big plugs and shit.
I don't know how they stuff all of this stuff into such a small package. It's crazy. But I love taking that sleeper I was talking about. That was a complete rewire, and now it's fucking tight. I love that. Like then I'll use like little connectors, hidden connectors, so you can pull the whole harness off the bike. So the next guy who works on that bike is going to be thanking them.
Yeah. Yeah. But you understand how few and far that is between, because you see old bikes and what the wiring usually looks like. That's all I was saying is like, you're you're trying to show people like in a 4-hour class, like, oh yeah, and here's the wiring segment, be like, but yours isn't going to look like this. Probably,
You know what I do is just go, okay, the alternator charges your battery.
Yeah.
And then your switch is the key to everything. The battery, the power goes from the battery to your switch, and then it's a distribution system. And then this is how a coil works, and this is how it's like a lighting circuit, ignition circuit, charging circuit. What else?
The fundamentals of it.
And you can. It was really nice because you can see. During the classes, you could see a couple of people going, and it just a connection's made, and it's good. And then I give them like little tricks and, staying on the road and go through the toolkit and what's a good thing to carry and how to use a test light and all that stuff. And it's been surprisingly, what's the word I'm looking for? I feel good about it. At the end of the day, I'm really like kind of, I thought I would just be like, sharing info and, stuff. But I've actually, at the end of the day, I really feel good. Like I've done something right, and I'm going to help people down the road, or stay on the road, and people not get frustrated,
Yeah, because that's something that you like think about when we were young and just get into shit. If someone did that, how stoked we would have been.
Yeah.
Especially for vintage. Like there's a lot of people doing that now for new bikes. Like here's how to do an oil change and blah, blah, blah. But for gearing it towards vintage bikes, fuck yeah, man. Kudos to you. So there's a lot of motherfuckers that are educated in New Jersey and New York riding around like on their old iron.
They eventually stop by.
Yeah.
It's like I'm getting a lot of New York customers lately. There's a couple shops that have closed, and
it's wild, right? How many motherfuckers are like just shutting down or dying off and stuff? It's wild.
It's not easy. It's like Hugh Mackey. You right?
Yeah.
From 6th Street.
Yep.
So he's been doing this. I can't even imagine how long. He's always been there. Yeah. I mean, when I was a kid, I've always known his shop was right there. I used to live down the block.
Okay.
And I'd go past it before, and I couldn't afford a bike, and I'd see him, and I'm like, oh, that guy's so fucking cool. Same guy, 40 friggin' years later, and he's still at it.
Still there, yeah.
And he said to me one time, and we just shop talk, and he goes, Walt, there's a huge difference between running a shop and being a mechanic. And he goes, I miss being a mechanic. It's easier. It's simpler.
Yeah,
who am I talking to?
Yeah. So Where do you see things going in like the next 10 years for like the shit we're into? Because I get, I'm like, I don't know. For lack of a better word, I'm maybe a little black-pilled on things, just in general, like in life. Black-pilled meaning like...
What's that mean?
Very glass is half empty, fucking pessimistic about shit. I want to be glass is half full guy. I just like, like everything going on in the world where there's like not as many, it doesn't seem that there's as many young kids getting into shit as there used to be. Everything's going fucking electric. The fucking economy fucking blows, fucking blah, 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 blah. But I feel like there's always going to be a contingent of people that are into old shit, but I feel like it's going to get smaller and smaller and smaller, which may make it cooler. You know what I mean?
I think, let's put it this way. I think I'm on the, I think like, being a vintage guy,
yeah,
and like, it's a really good question. I don't know. I know like, I had a shop helper, this guy, David, great kid, all fully into it. He's built 2 bikes and nice, really good work. And my buddy Spike, who I've been friends with since I was 16 years old, his son, built his own bike now, and it's nice seeing those guys come out. I wish my son got into it a little bit, but he's into his own thing, and I love it. It's like I want him to be happy doing his own thing, but I think there's always going to be people on bikes, and you know what? I'm all for the electric shit. The more people that ride electric bikes, that means there's more gas left for us.
Yeah.
And I rode the Harley, the live wire.
Yeah.
I think they screwed up that whole thing. If they made that bike just affordable, like 15, 18 grand instead of like 22 or whatever it was when it first came out, I think they would have sold a lot more of them. I would have bought one. I couldn't justify the amount, and I'm into it. I test rode one. It's all torque. They're light. They're fun. They're great, man. It's just like, how many guys do you know? They all have different bikes. I got a buddy who's got a Pan, a shovel, and a BMW big adventure bike.
Different bikes for different things, man. That's what I always,
I think there's always going to be people into it. I think, you got to, I think the scene is a lot, I hope it is. I've been stuck in the shop for a little too long, but I think the scene is a little more inclusive, I want to say. It used to be, a bunch of hard, scary motherfuckers. What do you want? I used to walk into shops and just to buy spark plugs or something, and then get, motherfucked the whole fucking time. I'm like, dude, I just want to buy some fucking spark plugs for your Sportster. All right, fuck you.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of do miss that. There was a dude Lumpy out here who passed away about a year ago. He had a place called Cape Cod Choppers, but he was just busting balls. You walked in, he'd look at you, but if he knew you or if he didn't know you, he'd look at you and go, "What do you want, asshole?" And it was a litmus test. It was a litmus test, because if you gave it back to him, he'd start laughing and he'd be like, "All right, blah, blah, blah," But it was like always just like, but you'd see someone come in that had never been in there before. He's like, "What do you want, you asshole?" Like, you know what I mean? And it was fucking beautiful to me. Like, but you know me, dude. Like, I love that shit.
I know. I'm not. Listen, once I get to know somebody, fucking sky's the limit. I don't react well to, "Hey, fuck you, fuck face." First thing out of your mouth.
Sure.
But I have really great customers. I really do. Sure. And I'm still here, so I must
doing something right. Great
people.
Yeah.
The funniest thing happened a little while ago. Like I'll get calls every day. It's like, hey, do you have this or do you have that? And then it's for like a modern bike, like a street glider or something. And I'm like, no, man, I'm sorry, I do vintage stuff and anything with a carburetor kind of thing. And I'll get guys coming up and saying, hey, man, can you help me with this and that? And they're like, no, like guy with a Dyna came in. And he's like, oh yeah, I need this and that and the other thing and da da da. And I'm like, I'm sorry, man, I that's too old. And he goes, dude, it's a 98 or whatever they started making Dynas. And the guy got insulted because I didn't want to work on his stuff. And I'm also backed up. I'm fucking constantly backed up, which is infinitely frustrating.
But it's
I got great help now. Anyway.
But it's not a bad place to be. That means it's good work. Like you got a lot of work. Like, you know what I mean?
The guy got like hurt that I didn't want to work on his bike. And I sat out there with him and I told him what was wrong with it and how much it's probably going to cost him. And I gave him like 3 or 4 shops in the neighborhood that work on modern stuff and do really good work. I would go there with it. I would, if I had a brand new street glide, I couldn't work on it because I don't know how to. I could figure it out, but I like what I do and I like building motors and sure. I'm not going to be able to do that with a brand new, this year's model. But it's funny. It's I tried my best to help the guy out and send him in the right direction. And he was like leaving motherfucking. It's like, that's the only time.
Yeah. At the end of it, fuck you, dude. Like I've been going above and beyond to help you. And then you're still like being a motherfucker. Like, fuck you.
It's it happens every once in a while.
I know. Can't keep everyone happy. But,
yeah, exactly. You can't be friends with everybody. You can't make everybody happy. And you're just a fool if you try. Right?
Yeah. You're like, all right, dude, get an FXR and I'll give you a hand.
I'll work on an FXR.
Yeah. Your bike's too new, bro. Like, and then he goes to Harley and they won't touch it because it's a 98. So it's like, he is in a weird spot. He is in a weird spot. Like, tell him, send him down to me. I'll put my...
I honestly, and I don't know, when did they first start doing Dynas? How did it be 98?
Something right around there, yeah.
Because I've never had one. My buddies have one, a couple, and they're great bikes. I love.
No, it was before. I don't know the first year of the Dyna, but it was before that.
I still think FXR handles better than a Dyna, and I will die on that fucking hill if anybody wants to have a discussion about it.
Kickstart will back you up on that. He loves those fucking things.
Oh yeah,
and he's a fucking mad engineer. That dude is a slept-on motherfucker.
Such nice work, and is the nicest guy.
If he lived in California, I think he'd be a millionaire. Off bike stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Off bike stuff. Like, I don't know what his financial situation. I don't care. Like, he's a good dude. Like, I'm not trying to get into shit. Mm-hmm. I know he's a mad engineer and does a lot of other shit. And then the bike stuff is just the shit he's like passionate about.
Yeah, I know he does like something like medical machining.
Yeah.
Something like that. And I'm like, you got to be that, like medical stuff. You got to be.
There's no fucking around. Yeah. There's no fucking around. Yeah. Like, you got to be on point.
I bought a truck from an aircraft mechanic years ago. You could eat off of it. Yeah. I would buy anything from an aircraft mechanic because those guys are ridiculously thorough.
Well, think about it, man. You got 500, 300 people on there, 500 people on there. You can't fuck around. My buddy's an aircraft mechanic, and that's a good job, man. A lot of stress.
Yeah.
A lot of stress on your head, though.
Yeah, you don't want to fuck up.
No, you'll be OCD.
I'm halfway there, man. It's a struggle.
There's no panhead tolerances on a aircraft engine. Like you can't do panhead tolerances.
10 to 50. You're good. You're in the neighborhood. It's all right.
I mean, I think M8 throwout is pretty much like that right now, and the M8's the throwout is like anywhere like 10 to 50 fucking from the factory.
Are you serious?
It's all over the place, man. They're fucked up. Like I don't know what's going on. The quality control's a little down or something, but yeah. Just saying, doesn't matter.
They're making some good bikes, man. You know what? I did a review for our local Harley dealer, Bergen County, and when the new Softails came out, I got to tell you, man, that whoever calling that a Softail is an insult to the engineers that made it work as well as it does. That thing, those new frames handle so good. I was blown away. They shouldn't have called them a Softail because it's not a Softail.
You look at it, it's a monoshock. You know, the monoshock's up top. It's got like more of that monoshock look versus the Softail where it was underneath. You know what I mean? Like, I get it.
Yeah, but those you've ridden them. They're washy. You know, a traditional Softail. Yeah. They're super washy. You hit a corner and you.
I have one. And I have the ST. Like, so I had a Pan America, right? Because I wanted. I traded it in with 400 miles because I kept having computer and like I kept having issues that were. It was during the times where there were shortages on microchips and shit. So I kept having computer and issues, and Harley wasn't standing behind it. So I turned it in and traded it in for a lowrider ST, which is cool because it starts up every time. But I loved that Pan America when it did ride, but I traded it in with 400 miles on it. First new bike I ever bought. I fucking hauled that thing out to fucking Arizona from a friend's memorial ride. And I'm out there with dudes because I was like, yo, I'm going to rip this thing through the desert, right? Like, it's going to be fun. Yeah. And so I haul it all the way out to Arizona. We were riding from Arizona to Nevada. And there's dudes on panheads, shovel heads, fucking everything, knucklehead. There was a knucklehead. The only bike to break down, the brand new Pan America. I felt like such a fucking heel, bro. But it was all computer glitches. It was not. I brought it over to Tucson Harley. They mapped it and everything and did everything to reset it, and it worked good for the night. And then the next morning wouldn't start again. Just kept having issues that were not mechanical issues. There's nothing you can do. And so I was like, take this fucking thing back. You know what I mean? But it was the first year of it. It was the first year, and we all know what happens with the first year shit. Whatever. But
I want to, if I was going to buy a new bike, have I ever owned a new bike? I don't think so.
In 20-something years of riding, that was my first new bike, and I was just like, the worst experience ever.
I would buy that bike. Yeah. That's the one I would like. If I bought a new bike, that's the one I'm going to buy.
But I talked to
a Glide or anything.
I talked to Danger Dan. I talked to like Trent and Trent from Atomic, like dudes that I know, like that, like beat on shit and know this shit. Yeah, and they all loved it. So I was like, fuck yeah! I just got the glitchy, shitty one. You know what I mean? Luck of the draw. You know what I mean? Like, and I think everyone's had problems with them, but. I mean, Trent was glowing about it. He's like, bro, this bike's fucking does it. And I was like, fuck yeah, dude. Like, so I went and got it, and mine didn't. It did when it was riding. When it worked, it fucking was phenomenal. You know what I mean? Like, that thing, you just look wherever the fuck you want to go. On-road, off-road, it just went, and it was just went.
And it wasn't too heavy. Did you actually get in the dirt with it?
I got into, like, trails, but not like power line roads and stuff, not like not trails. Like
that's what I mean. That's my speed is like power line trail.
Well, I was like 50, you know what I'm like. I never rode a dirt bike in my life, so I'm not the guy to do it because like I didn't grow up like with dirt bikes and all that shit. So
every single motherfucker that I go, holy crap, that guy can ride. They all started when they were 12 and they all rode dirt.
Yeah.
every good rider, like a guy who knows how to throw it around a corner and stuff. I'm like, how long you been? I rode dirt bikes. I did motocross. Yeah. Every single one of them.
Yeah. Well, that's good training ground, right?
I did a ride with Trent and Spartan George.
Oh, George is the best too. I love that dude.
I love it. I really do love that guy. We're riding to, I think to a Biltwell thing. I forget what we were going to, but Trent was on a KTM, like a weird KTM. Was it a KTM? I think so. Yeah, it was just this bizarre KTM street bike. And he'd be ahead of me, and he would go between the fucking dashed lines on the road. It was that tight. Have you ever tried to do that? It's not. Yeah.
You're lucky if you get the second one. Yeah.
Yeah, he's like boom, 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 and I was like, at first I was like. I'm like, that's the weirdest ass bike I've ever seen. By the end of the trip, I was like, you wanted one. It's so cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
I haven't talked to Trent in a bit. He's a fucking character, man.
Man, he's a good dude. He's still rocking. Mm-hmm. But, well, dude, so October, what was it again? October what?
Saturday, October 12th.
October 12th. There you go.
Thrills.
This will all be in the show notes. What's the website and social so people can find more information?
It's cheapthrillsshow.com, and on Instagram we're cheapthrillsnj for New fucking Jersey.
Be in the show notes. So if you're driving right now, you don't have to remember it. Just check the notes when you get to a stop.
I want to. You know my partner Dusty, right?
Yeah.
In the show.
You were saying you were threatening that he might be here. He didn't. He was.
I was hoping he made it. He's working. He does solar.
Okay.
During the day, he's a construction manager, and they got him all over the state.
I can imagine.
He put up like 1 million square feet of solar panels in the past like year and a half or something crazy.
Wild.
Like that. He's a hard-working motherfucker. So.
Good.
He couldn't make it, but I want to say, he's absolutely the best show fucking promoter I know.
Good dude.
All the good ideas are his, and I just help make it happen.
and where can people find you? Where's just give the Kickstart stuff out?
Kickstartcycle.com and at Kickstart Cycle on the Instas. And that's about it.
Actually, I have one more question for you, because you always usually put out a cool doodad, like a cool little tool or like something. What's going on? Do you got something going on?
I have. I make these little test lights.
The test light was fucking
brass bodied test lights, and those are. It's getting a little crazy. Like Lowbrow started carrying them, and Biltwell are carrying them, and I think we're on our third round of them, and they've all sold out. And I'm like, it's a cool unit, and it'll literally, it's a lifetime guarantee. I'm like, if you can fuck this up, I will fix it for you or give you another one. It's that tough, and it's a cool little thing. And I got some new shirts coming out. And I'm going to do your favorite. I'm going to do the Cars Suck one.
Cars Suck, yeah. There you go.
Which was but yeah, I'm just I'm coming out. I got some other stuff coming out. I got a new points cover, and I'm working on a new kick pedal and a air cleaner.
Are you still doing the little bread box, the mini bread box air cleaner? See, this is the beauty of video. You can show that shit off.
Go.
Boom.
This is my version of a dual throat for a Super E.
There you go.
And we're going to do another round of these. We've been out. It's an investment to
I know, dude.
Make them. So
it's crazy,
yeah.
And it ain't. Well, it's coming down a little bit, but production stuff, like even raw materials went up so much in the last few years, but it seems like to be evening out, coming down a little bit.
Dude, steel prices were ridiculous. I was doing a lot of
aluminum was retarded for a little while.
I couldn't. I love how your Boston comes out. You're retarded.
I say it with a Boston accent so I can escape the algorithms of of using words that are banned on social media.
The steels come down for a while. It was ridiculous. The stuff I had to charge my customers. Even they were like, "What the fuck was this? You made the same thing for me 6 months ago, and it was half the price." Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's material. It's the same labor.
I didn't charge you more for the labor. It's just the materials went up, man. Yeah. It's still to this day when I'm like,
it's coming down.
Yeah, I try and price stuff in the book, like in the catalogs that if someone needs a part and I got to look it up online on the computer because the book was printed a year ago, even though it's the 2024 book, but price is different. Yeah. It's like wild. But everyone, if you are in anywhere you are, you got plenty of time to save the date to make it out for October. There's no excuse. Come out. It's gonna be a rager, and yeah, Bon Jovi might even be there.
Maybe it's down in his neck of the woods.
You never know. But yeah, man, thank you so much. I'm gonna shut this off, but I'm not hanging up. So hold up for 1 second.
Okay. Hey, thanks a lot, everybody. I'll see you around.
Absolutely.
You deserve a tech career you love, coworkers you can count on, innovation you're proud to build. If you're ready to change the world through technology, explore a career at Cox. Make a real impact in engineering, development, cybersecurity, and more, all while experiencing work-life balance, flexible work options, and great benefits. Visit cox.career/tech to find a job you love today. That's cox.career/tech.
What if you could have a career where the opportunities are as vast as our nation, where it's not about mission statements, but a shared mission? At U.S. Customs and Border Protection, we go beyond to protect more than borders. From ship to shore, air to ground, cities to local communities, CBP agents and officers are keeping people safe. Join U.S. Customs and Border Protection and go beyond for something far greater than yourself. Learn more at cbp.gov/careers.